Next, we have Mark Ruthman, who manages electronic product development at American Academy of Pediatrics. I'll let him speak a little bit about himself, but it's interesting. You will see the variation in terms of strategy. They've been in mobile for quite some time. They've done experimentation with a lot of different products, but just to see the variations of what they're bringing from a very different subject area.
Thanks, Gurvinder. So as Gurvinder mentioned, so I am in the managed electronic product development at the American Academy of Pediatrics. I'm in the marketing and publications area, which is the books, patient education, things like that, not non-journal side. But we are, as kind of I'll go through, we're kind of starting something to standardize the mobile delivery across, to the whole organization. And so I called this the new normal because of it was something that was occurring to me. I was thinking the new normal is a phrase that gets around a lot, and people, whether or not people are people think it's bad, people think it's less conspicuous consumption, but whatever it is, it's here and it's here to stay. And I feel like mobile in publishing is the same way. It's here, it's not going anywhere, it's what people want. And also it does, as Pam was saying, we have a lot of more opportunity to know what people want, how people are using things, as opposed to books or print journals or any print stuff that you don't know. People open it again, if people ever look at it, if it just sits on the shelf. So we are an independent pediatric publisher, and we're also a membership association, so we also have those two pulls. Key products,
certainly print books, both professional and parenting books, patient education handouts, journals, CME courses, a legacy going back almost 80 years in the print world that has been steadily growing. Electronic websites, mobile apps, CDs, concerted effort to try and do more with audio, video, and multimedia and imagery and all these things, these tools that we have now. Some key titles that have a lot of mobile presence already and certainly expanding. Red Book, which is a book that comes out every 3 years. It's sort of the Bible for pediatric infectious disease information. Pediatric Care Online, point of care reference site, reference and tools site, very, very point of care practice based, practical site for pediatric information. Bright Futures is the national standard for preventive care at the well child visits, and healthychildren.org is a about 2-year-old open access parenting site that we launched recently that's been very successful. I'm glad I wound up throwing some stats in here. Thought this would be just stuff specific to our market, but I mean certainly, as everybody knows, mobile is blowing up everywhere. It's just some stuff in terms of medical apps, both on the professional side, the blue graph, the consumer health side, the green graph, and then some very interesting stuff from a Nielsen survey of physicians that was done a little over a year ago. 83% at that point of physicians had a smartphone or a tablet. And that everyone was going to buy one. It was very interesting as far as like who thought that the people who thought it was never going to happen as far as mobile and tablets getting into their practice life was like 2%. It was ridiculously small, and that actually cut across different age groups, different types of practice. So pretty universal expectations that mobile is a part of their life. This was another very interesting thing from that survey, what types of content people want mobile. Great for us because it lines up very, very well with the types of content that we're producing. Drug treatment, reference material, treatments, clinical research, diagnostic tools, treatment paths, all of that kind of stuff, patient education certainly. So just on our membership side, wanted to show members interact with us in a lot of different ways to produce content. We have individual authors and editors for books, journals, committees and sections, making policy statements. There's different types of programs, things like that. This, for example, is the editorial board, the Committee on Infectious Diseases, which produces the Red Book. And then just on the side, some of the current mobile that we have for some of our journals and policies, how that looks. As I mentioned, our website, our organization site, AAP.org, and had a relaunch, and HealthyChildren.org launched recently. Both of those have been standardized to have a little bit more editorial oversight than they had been before, and a little bit more centralized expertise to try to make things look better, be more discoverable, and have more methodology. And now this new app initiative is sort of a parallel way to do that, bring that great work that's been done for web onto the devices. So as Gurvinder said, we have a good deal of history back before they were called apps or anyone was saying mobile, but from the PDA world, starting with certainly Redbook, as it is one of our flagship titles, and we had a few other things as well, either things we built ourselves, content we licensed through Skyscape and others, largely just full text adaptations. And a big part of this new initiative is to have more targeted, focused, functional, true app type content, but just to say our history and things that are still out there. So KidsDoc is a symptom checker tool, quick reference tool for parents, part of the Healthy Children site. The middle screenshot is part of our Pediatric Care Online. The mobile, this is the point of care quick reference, very bulleted, concise content to help with diagnosis, treatment decisions. And the bottom is our ebook platform, which started with web and is now on iPad. We have about 120 titles available, and there's a free reader app for iPad, and then you buy the books, and then similar for iPhone and Android, rolling out those reader apps. We want to stay in touch with the developments, hardware, software, what people want, what the devices are capable of doing, how we can present the content in really functional ways, and just showing the immediacy and the ubiquity of the mobile. 47% of the users who opened the email announcing the new site did so on a mobile device. So it's a interesting stat that's really helped show, the membership is really here, really interested in this, and this is a great way to connect and have that immediacy, because we have so many different email lists and listservs and things going on throughout the building, and ways to announce, and a lot of things certainly get lost, and so this is a really good communication device. So as I said, this is a new initiative to do what I'm calling sort of true mobile apps, as well as also doing still some full text things of some core titles. So working with KiwiTech, we've been working on this working in depth with them for several months now, and we just released the initial platforms in the Android app. And the platforms are kind of a single connection, sort of like a portal on the mobile device that people can choose to register and have the connections, like Pam was saying, to their membership account or registered account, whatever rights they have through that, and we can deliver content based on that. Also looking at, we'll be using a number of different models, paid, probably both one-off and subscription, things, content that's included with subscriptions, sponsorship, ads, certainly the freemium light. We're even making some games right now that'll serve as sort of a light version, or as a promotional freemium. And certainly, trying to leverage all the different places that we have to promote them. And the big launch will be next month as the new edition of Redbook comes out, and the mobile for Redbook will be tied to the subscription, and that the online/mobile will be free to all members. It had been print only. Last edition they had a choice. This time we're giving them 2 of their 3 choices for free, and then they can purchase print if they want. So this is just a look at how the portals
look. So you have sort of an array of tiles, of icons representing the different sources of content. This was sort of an idea to have almost an agile or low-hanging fruit kind of idea. Leverage the content we already have, the apps that are out there, the web links that are out there, put a package together that people could easily use, would want to use, and that we would then have that footprint on the device that we can then is a great channel for driving awareness when new things come out. Probably took longer than any of us expected, but has been really good. Just launched in the stores. We also created 4 calculators to be part of this and help give people a reason to keep opening up the app. So the top is the professional platform. The bottom is how the Healthy Children platform actually also serves as doing a mobile optimization of the site. If people go to either of the sites through the platforms, they get a really nice mobile view that Kiwi Tech helped us out with, because that's a project that both of those sites want to do, but it's a little bit down the road. So some of the keys: centralizing the connection to our CRM, so that people can buy things in one place, and if that means mobile rights and they're logged in, they can get that content. We can deliver things to people based on who they are, controlled distributions and things like that, centralizing the usage statistics, and that kind of stuff. And also just try to help people, get through the clutter. There's so many pieces to AAP, microsites, sites based on different content areas. Help consolidate that. Give people one icon on their device that can help them. So just a little bit more about the professional one, and I'll look at some of the calculators and some of the info we have. Certainly tying this in with some of the existing apps out there, like the Journal eTalk Alert, the AAP Twitter feed, those kinds of things. And as far as the Healthy Children platform, sort of the same idea, delivering the key articles that they could have on their device, including some videos, some other information, and then they can get more things based on their interest or going out to the web. There's still a lot of interest in full content for the right types of titles. Actually, for a lot of titles, for certain people who want that mobility, especially people with tablets. So just another look at the bookshelf for AAP ebooks and the Red Book and the Nelson's Antimicrobial Therapy guide. Both Red Book and Nelson's are coming out in the next few weeks. And have a lot of interactivity, quick access to key content that people would want quick information, dosage, things like that. So here's just a little bit more about the timeline and where we are. So we're looking to, so we have the platforms are live in the stores. We're calling it sort of a soft launch. We're sending some information out to some people that we know have interest in this, some members out there, to get their feedback and really kick the tires, try to get a round of enhancements in, and then the big blast will be when some key apps deliver. And a big part of the communications about how to get Redbook mobile, get the professional platform. You'll have all this other stuff, and you'll have your Redbook on your device. Actually, when I found this graphic, I really liked it in PowerPoint because it's called Random Process. Because we're really trying to develop the process and figure out what are the keys to what content is good for mobile, how to do it, how to deliver it. And so we're just scratching the surface at developing, what are those kinds of questions, and how can we present that to people around the building who are like, can I have an app in 3 months, and how much will it cost? And really be like, well, we have a lot more questions to figure that out and get to that we can communicate to Kiwi, to partners, and really get a solid spec, because that is absolutely key. Not a particular fan of Argyle. I was just thinking algorithmically, but don't really know yet if there's an order that these questions have to be asked in, or a key path. So I just wanted to put a lot of the questions that we are looking at that will help determine what the appropriate mobile delivery is for a particular piece of content and how to do it. So certainly things like the expectation for updates, whether it needs to access information or interact with the device software, which is a good key as far as if you're doing a native app or HTML5. What kind of personalization, what kind of interaction with external things like EHRs or communications tools, those types of things are some of the key questions that we're looking at as we're analyzing and prioritizing where to go next with apps. We have a pipeline of probably about 10 apps in various stages of development and scoping and things like that, and know this is going to keep going. So this was a place where I was looking, is it a puzzle, but I think these gears, interlocking gears, make a good thing as this is, like I said, I think this is a continuation of what we've been doing, but it's one of those things where everyone throws up their hands like, oh, this is really different. So just determining, where the levels of review are, at what levels, who gets involved at what stage, and those kinds of issues. How do you communicate these things? How do you distribute them? Especially things like at meetings or with distributors, some of the traditional big outlets of physical products that don't necessarily translate well to the app world. This is something we're starting to put together to try to capture those questions as people around the area, around the building want apps, and that actually we want to make it completely simple to give people mock-up. I mean, this literally is in PowerPoint, but to really help get the information for ourselves and for others, what do you want it to do? Where does it happen? How does it happen? Because these are things that are really crucial for both developing it, testing it, communicating it, any of those things. Thank you.
Any questions for Mark?
Mm-hmm. Mark, I was interested in the e-books. Mm-hmm. Is that a standalone app within purchases?
It is a standalone app. It's a free app that's actually through another partner. We're working with a company called Impulsus on that. And so what that is, there's a full website. So through the website, you can view it online. They have a Flash-based reader. They also have an iOffline download for PC or Mac. So this is the iPad extension. So it's a free app in the App Store, and you log in. So you can either get any of the things you bought online, or there's also in-app purchase that you can buy right through the app. And that just is based on the existing PDFs that we provide to them, basically from our print process with a few tweaks. So people have the full text. They can share, bookmark, make notes, all that kind of stuff. And they're working on Android and iPhone. Should be out in the next few months. That also there's an institutional. So online right now that supports the institutional users. The app does not, but we're hoping to get that added soon.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested on the decision-making process. You just showed me your questionnaire. Somebody wanted you ask. How do you go about, who fills out the questionnaire, and how do you decide if you're going to use this app or not?
Right. Well, that's very much what we're exploring and what we're working through right now. So there'll be some kind of a content advocate, whether I've largely been working on things that are based on print publications that we're working on, but there might be someone. We have a large number of committees and sections that produce content based on subspecialties. So it could be the staff manager for that. It could be just someone who's involved with a key content area. That's one of the things our department, in addition to acquiring authors and working with them directly, we're also sort of a service to other parts of the academy who want to publish. So kind of bringing that into the app world. So it would be either
me or another kind of content person in our department working through that, or someone from another department who's kind of the person the advocate for that content or that functionality or whatever it is. So that's really just kind of a way to start the conversation, and then how to determine whether to do it or not is certainly another area that needs to get a lot more intelligence as we're doing these. But it would be a combination. A lot of it depends on the desired model. So certainly if it's something we're going to sell or get a sponsor for, the marketing area, the development area, those would be kind of tapped for their estimate of the potential and the feasibility and things like that as we're trying to set a budget, make sure we get a good return.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned some budgeting efforts in the area of games. Can you talk about what you're doing?
Sure. Well, we're so the one book I was talking about, it's called Nelson's Pediatric Antimicrobial Therapy. So it's a very small, concise, great pediatric drug reference book that's been around for years that we took over from another publisher a couple editions ago. And so we just created two simple games. One is taking a molecule and you have 5 choices for what drug class it's a part of. The other is sort of a falling thing to match a disease to a drug. So things that are related to the content that we want to throw it out there, see if it's going to be something that would kind of engage the doctor's competitive nature and get some awareness out about the app. Okay.
Yeah. Among the advantages of mobile platform approach you just mentioned, which ones do you think are unique on mobile applications? That is like, are there any features on mobile applications only over web-based?
Well, I mean, certainly if something needs to be used offline, which is something we definitely get demand for. If people are in hospitals that they can't use their Wi-Fi, or people are in areas without good connections, or people with Wi-Fi only tablets or things like that. I think that's something. I think there's a lot of personal feel and immediacy and things like that with apps that that isn't the same for websites. So I think that's something to think about. And I think just how people are using a particular piece of content, if it's something that they would really want, in the exam room or or on the go, or in various things, or is it something that they can be kind of somewhere more fixed to use? Mm-hmm.
What role does economics play in your decisions about which apps to produce? Do you expect them to make money, break even with everything, or is that not a criteria?
So as I said, we have that constant push-pull of mission and margin. I sit in an area that is a revenue-generating area, so we are certainly looking to that, one way or another. Certainly, it doesn't have to be that, the end user is buying it. We're looking at a lot of different models, but we are certainly hoping to make money, whether directly or indirectly. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned that the new Red Book, the mobile is being bundled with the print edition.
Well, with the online subscription.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How will you authenticate users who download the app?
Sure. So that's tied to, and one of the reasons we picked Kiwi, they really got what we were trying to do. We worked with, we had a lot of meetings, calls between them and our IT team, and it's using our single sign-on web service. So the app is free, but you have to log in to get the content, and so that's checking our web service to make sure someone is either a subscriber, a member, or coming soon an institutional user, that they have the rights to the content. And also, when they go to get updates, it'll verify that again. So that's the only other time they'd have to. So they just have to log in once to get the content, and then just verify it to get updates. Yeah.
Any other questions? I want to quickly just show a glimpse of how this app looks. It was interesting. I was not sure how Apple is gonna proceed to this kind of design. We hadn't done it. In fact, they did have an objection to our use. We had rounded corners for each of these icons, so they said that they own rounded corners. But a very different approach where you see the shelves. Each of them actually represent other AAP apps. If I click on say AP News, if I have that app on my device, it will open it. Otherwise, it's gonna just take me to the store to download the app. And then, of course, the various calculators are built in, and it calculates and does things. But just the approach in terms of various icons, representing different areas of the content which exists on their website. So it was a very different approach, so that how do you chunk it enough so that people know what they're looking for? Still tying it to their website enough in terms of easy to find information. But my initial worry was whether Apple is gonna, because I haven't seen anything like this before. This approach where you can go to any other area, then it will basically, depending on its free content, right? You get access to it, or you log in and you go more detail. So you're parsing a lot of stuff and then you're showing the content, but it's an interesting approach in terms of how you connecting the user. And obviously, if you like something you go to very often, you can drag it and it becomes part of your favorite where you can continue to look at. So I thought it would be interesting to show that. Thank you, Mark.